Hi guys, today I'm going to do a review of Dragon's Pz I DAK Ausf, which is the Deutsche Afrika Korps version of the Panzer I, which was a very early German tank, and I've decided to do this because Cohen's expressed an interest in seeing what's inside the box. He's recently done a review of a very small Japanese tank, and I thought it'd be interesting to see what a small German tank looks like. So let's have a quick look around the box to start with. So first off, not a bad piece of artwork on the front. On the side we can see there that it is Dragon copyright 2004. Some details of what's in the inside. So you've got the deco sheet, the photo etch and some extra goodies. Nothing too exciting on the side. And on the side, a picture of a made up model showing all the various detailed parts, and also some extra figures that are included in the box which aren't actually mentioned anywhere else. So, biggish box, so let's see what you get for your money inside it. So, Dragon instruction sheets, Dragon card with all the goodies on, which is probably blinding you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plastic sprues. Put to one side, and the tub. So, in terms of tank to box size, you can see there's not a lot of tank for the size of the box, but there are a lot of extra stuff that comes with it, and it's going to build up into what looks like a very detailed model. So, let's have a look at the bits and pieces. Right, disclaimer first, I do not pretend to be an armour guy. I have built armour in my time. I don't profess to be very good at it. Well, let's be brutally honest, I'm not very good at aircraft modelling either, but probably even less so at tank modelling. So, nice checker plate on the sides. Nothing in the way of internal detail. Some nice detailing on the sides with rivet detail right up underneath there. Riveted detail again on the bottom. And the same on the other side. So quite nice. Just a couple little moulding marks there that need to be got rid of, but it's inside, so you may decide to not bother with that, but I think most people would. Just on the inside, just noticed there are a few sink marks there, but again, that's not something you're likely to ever see once the whole thing's buttoned up. Alright, so next up, 2 identical sprues, and they can probably account for most of the parts counts in this kit. Put one to one side. So we have the running gear, the suspension, and the track links, all individual, all attached to the sprue, unlike modern Dragon kits. Very nice leaf spring detail there. Tiny little bits and pieces. Very good, not flashed at all, no moulding seam, a very slight moulding seam line on the wheels, but nothing major. That's the idler and the dry sprocket on the back. Again, some nice detail here on the reverse. Same nice leaf spring detail. No injector pin marks on the tracks at all. Looks like they've basically used the moulding runners as ejector points for the pins. But there's 5 places you've got to cut off on each individual track link. Just a couple of very slight injector pin marks on the reverse of the drive sprocket, but you're never going to see those. So very nice, not bad at all, very nice. So next up, I may be guessing what some of these bits and pieces are for, but bear with me. So we've got the jack blocks, part of the jack. So yeah, we've got tools and stuff here. So there's the bolt cutters. Hopefully you can see all this stuff. Looks like some hatch detail. Looks like a handle of some description. Some armour plate. They look like engine deck mounts of some description. More armour plate. Very, very slight texture on that. Very, very light. More access hatches and stuff there. Those look like parts of the running gear covers. Various tiny grills. Again, no flash to be seen. All the injector pin parts on the reverse don't seem to be in places where you might see it, except possibly here. I'll have to have a look at the instructions on that. But again, all very nice and crisply moulded. As you can see, this is the first time I opened this up. So this is the engine deck. Again, very slight texture on it. A bit of raised and sunken detail. Very nice finely moulded vents on that. Some suspension springs, nicely done. There's no real marks where the mould lines would be. Again, just very light texture on the. I'll just see if I can bring this up nice and close, see if I can get something to pop behind this so the camera will focus. So if you look at this, you have got very, very fine, see that, very, very fine weld seam detail on the inside there. It's very nicely done. Again, on these parts, just raised weld seam there. So this is the main hull. Again, you've got a little bit of sunken rivet detail. Weld seam here, 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 all very nice and crisp. Again, I think this is part of the exhaust. Very, very nicely done. No burring or very, very little in the way of any marks on that. Some more tools, a shovel. Fire extinguisher possibly, probably wrong. Again, part of the exhaust system there. Yeah, all very nicely done. Just, I'm not sure which way around this goes. Possibly something like that. Get forward a bit. Not too sure. Engine deck would be. I'm not too sure quite how that fits, but anyway, you get the idea. All the armour guys out there screaming at me now, that's completely wrong. I'll have to learn sometime. Right, some more bits and pieces. So, turret, so that's turret interior, viewpoints, this is part of the makeup of the main crew compartment around the sides. Again, there's very, very fine detail on there, weld seam detail. Turret. Put that on. Again, I'll start to run out of shadows here. Again, you can see very nice moulding on detail. Nothing on the interior. Those viewpoints would have to be opened up, but the ones here are actually, you can see right the way through. It's part of the mantlet. Machine gun detail there. This tank only armed with the machine gun. That's the antenna, I believe, and the antenna mounting rack. Again, really, really tiny turret for a tank in this scale. Alright, clear parts. So I'm not going to cut right the way through. Which are very clear. So we've got vision blocks, what look like, they're not windows, that was my first guess, but they look like window frames. And those are actually textured clear parts. I'm not sure what they're all about. Then we've got vision blocks again, but in clear, and then looks like these are the interior of the vision blocks. I don't know how much the camera's going to pick up on those. So vision blocks here. These look like the armoured glass insert for the box. And we've got the same here. Again, very, very fine. No flash or anything like that. Wonder why they've done all those. Yeah, I know why they've done the armoured glass blocks in clear, but obviously they've done everything else in it as well. Alright, on to some of the goody stuff now. So, two sprues here, both identical, which have got jerry cans, handle, cap for the jerry can. They're all marked up, and they've got very, very fine writing on, which the camera may or may not pick out there. But it says Wasser 20 litre 1941 Wehrmacht. All very all easily legible. It's very, very nice detail. Two sprues exactly the same there. And we have the bonus figure sprue. Get 4 figures in this. Well, actually, already I can see there's a few other extras. So, hat detail, face detail, which is okay, it's acceptable. Goggles, various disassembled arms and legs. Again, a little bit of clean up required on these. For some reason, that's always the case with figures. They always seem to show they need some sort of clean up on them, no matter how good the rest of the sprues are. And you have got a small dog to add a little bit of humour to your scene, and also a tiny lizard. And it is in Africa after all. And some more kit to go with the figures if you're doing a little diorama of when they're lagered. So we have various drinking vessels or what have you, with small handles and lids for same. And here you have got mess tins, personal water bottle, spoon, and also here you have a small gas stove with its lid and various utensils and so forth there as well, which is a nice extra touch you can put together and have there as a make a nice focal point for a diorama. Very nice. Now the dragon card goodies. These are all sellotaped on, so these could be a bit tricky. So I'm not going to struggle too much with these. So we will see clear parts, obviously headlight parts there, which are obviously replacements for some plastic parts which look very similar on the main sprues. First bit of photo etch. Ooh, there we go. Chains, grills, various other very small bits and pieces on there. This is the fret for the water can carriers, and also these added the de-welded detail on the cans, and they're sandwiched between the two plastic halves and give you that metallic raised rim. And then you've got the decals that are in there. Let's see if we can get those out. See what they're like. Lots of different numbers and combinations of stuff on this. Give you the option of modelling whichever number tank in the regiment you want to do. So the decals themselves are nice and flat. There's a lot of white ones here, so they're going to be quite tricky to see. But a selection of markings there to go on the tank. So, some nice little extra bits and pieces on there. And then finally, the dreaded dragon instructions. Now, I've not really built a dragon kit before, but everybody says how difficult they are, so let's have a look and see how this looks. So, we've got the numbered sprue map on there with bits not to use. So, see straight away, just looking at these, those are the replacement clear parts I thought were there. And it looks like the actual standard plastic vision blocks aren't used because they've been replaced on this, which was the transparent sprue. And there's some access covers that are missing and some small little bits on there, but otherwise you use pretty much everything in the box. Colour callouts are in Mr. Hobby, Aqueous, Mr. Colour and Model Master. Standard stuff for Dragon, I believe. So initially, road wheels. Straight away you've got an option. Looks like you can have that bar in or not. Optionally. Putting the road wheels on, which I'm reliably informed by you armour guys is not what you do at this stage. Same with the tracks, so you might put them together ready to go on, don't fix them in place. Right, so be careful and take your time. Yep, I think that's probably sound advice. With this kit, all gatefold stuff, which I think again is typical of Dragon. Oh, right, okay, I start to see some of the drawbacks with Dragon instructions. So this is all upside down, just to make life... So it's upside down and the opposite way around to how you'd normally look at it. And then you've got bits and pieces going in different directions. Okay, so that needs a little bit of careful study. Right, so it looks like there is a bundle of photo etch here that replaces a plastic part, which goes on there. Yep. And then you've got 4 different options for part to go on it. One of which can either be plastic or enhanced with photo etch. Okay. So main engine exhaust and shroud for it, that's okay. Oh, right, okay, yeah, alright. So that bit there is construction step 7, and then this bit here is construction step 8. And you'll be careful there, because if you read across you're going to get in a horrible mess. Is that all 7? Looks like this bit goes on there. Well, that's part 8 is definitely a separate 8. The part that looks like it follows on from this bit, which follows on from that bit. I think. Carefully, gently. I think was that one. So step 9. Upper hull and engine deck come together. Guards go on. Front of the hull goes on. Back plate goes on. These bits go on somewhere. Then we've got various construction steps. E, F, G, X, H, I all go down the side here. And then you've got construction step 10, which looks like it's the turret. J and K looks like towing hitch and the tools, and M is the water carrier. E or F looks like that's either open or shut, so shut or open with somebody in the turret, and you'd have to put somebody in the turret because there's no interior detail whatsoever as far as I can tell. Otherwise you have to have it all buttoned up. Then 11, it seems to be comparatively straightforward. Putting the turret on, side access. There's bits and pieces on the front of the hull, the tools go on. All the bits and pieces go on the back, antenna, more tools. And what it's telling me is, okay, so looks like there's a set of tools and the jack blocks go on the back rear quarter there, or you can not have them there and put the water carrier on. Then you move the jack blocks forward somewhere ish, and the other tools come up the front here, I think. Oh, and subassembly X goes on, I think. That's you Dragon guys will be able to tell me if I've got that right, but that's what I think. Construction instructions for the figures. So that's all. It's all quite nice, that stuff actually. There's that little stove that goes together. Guy there having a drink. Somebody else dishing out the water. All the other little bits and pieces. And then finally the painting instructions, which are either in main body either H12 and H66. No, not that one. So what's the main colour on that one? That's 32. So it's either field grey or sandy brown. So yeah, so either standard German grey or standard German yellow by the look of it. Again, it shows you options of the different decals you can have, the different numberings that you can have in different places. So, but no real guidance necessarily of quite what's what. And these just show them with the tools in the original position. So I think it would definitely be a case of checking sources and stuff on that, because there's not much. If you look at those, you'd say, well, you never put the jerry cans on it, but the original box art picture suggests you do. So, which is there. That's actually quite a nice guide, and again, sort of little detail like there's that sort of field grey square with the Africa Corps symbol on it, which would be this tank, and there's no suggestion at all of that on there. So definitely room for artistic license and quite a lot of heavy weathering, I would think. So it would be an interesting and quite complex little build, I think, all in all. First impressions, it's a very well moulded, nice little kit. If you didn't know what you were buying, and you just went in and bought a tank in a big box like that, you'd think you were getting a big tank. So for somebody who's new to the hobby, I think that could be a little bit misleading. However, you do get a stack load of stuff in the box for your money. There is a lot of detail, there is a lot of really nice moulding. There's no flash that I can see, very very good on the seam lines, probably one of the nicest moulded kits I've seen. Certainly be a challenging build, there's a lot of fiddly little parts in there, but you could make a really nice finished little model diorama of it. So overall, I think it's a pretty good kit to get. Beginner's kit? Possibly not. I think you need to know what you're doing. I certainly think you need to concentrate on the instructions. I've built a lot of models in my time, so I think I could probably work my way through it. But it certainly leaves room for you to muck up, and you definitely need some additional resources before you even start thinking on it. Obviously for you guys, if you're dedicated armour builders, that's probably less of an issue. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the review. I've now got to try and get all these bits back in their plastic bags, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers guys.